Well, hey y'all, this is James. This is Lewis. This is NAAP podcast.
Hello.
Yep, and we're just two friends who love to talk about all things anime, the good, gross, and goofy. We also sometimes get a little deep, serious. All right, so Lewis, you had a question to start us off with?
Yeah. Just my question was, what character, who has the most drive? Like, who has the most, basically a strong sense of will? And I was gonna say to exclude, obviously, like Naruto and Luffy, because their singular drive to be the Pirate King or Hokage and stuff like that. But I was just thinking of characters more with like that unrelenting will, like the Terminator, like they're on a mission and like literally nothing will deter them from their goals. Just wanted to see if you had any characters in mind that embodied that.
The one that comes to mind is Asta from Black Clover.
Okay.
This man literally was the only person in his world with no magic and broke both of his arms and was still like, "You're not gonna defeat me. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do what I want to do." Crazy determination with no type of backing or any evidence that says that he's on the right path.
See, that's what I haven't watched. You said he broke both of his arms? Is that what you said?
Both of his arms. And they're like, "You're probably never going to be able to wield a sword again." That's how he was getting by.
Oh, okay.
And that's how he's able to join a guild and all that. Still. Like, after he heard that, he was crushed for a little bit, but then he went outside and then screamed at the sky, the universe. It was like, "You're not going to stop me. I'm gonna become the Wizard King."
Oh, of course he will. I feel like I haven't seen the show, but I know that's all he does. He scream talks. Okay.
Very loud character archetype.
Yeah, right. The person that came to mind for me initially was Itachi, for obvious reasons. But now that you're explaining Asta, it reminds me of Rock Lee, and I'm like, that dude was on the brink of death, and they told him something similar, that he would never be able to, fight, be a ninja, and he came from after that, and pretty much.
Yeah, after Gaara had destroyed him, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And he showed a lot of grit to me to overcome pretty much his whole body being broken and being able to still become pretty much a top ninja after that, even though they don't really give him a lot of screen time after that. But yeah, that was another character I thought of. I was trying to think of some more. I don't know, it's just really interesting to me when some characters are kind of like, so, like even after Rock Lee was unconscious, like he still was trying to fight because he was like, so that's how strong his will was. It's like, oh, okay, well, dang. But that was my question to start us off. And if anybody is ever listening to our podcast, if you've got something, just, send us something. Drop us a line in the comments or wherever and let us know what you think. Who's got the most determination? And it doesn't have to be shonen. It could be any of the types of anime out there.
That's actually the video that's about to be coming out this week.
Oh, okay.
Is the one with all the different anime.
Oh, yeah.
First part. Yeah. Anime news. Did you see that the One Piece is getting redid?
No.
Animated?
Are you talking about like all of One Piece?
One Piece, they're starting off with just the East Blue, but they're probably having plans to do the entire thing all the way up until it became modernized. Because there was 90-ish, early 2000s type of animation, and anime was kind of
dusty,
outdated. Yeah, so now they're modernizing it, but Oda had gave this project the green light to do things like interpret it their way, basically.
That's bold. I don't know what studio is going to take that on, but that's bold.
One of the creators on this project did Attack on Titan.
Oh, got you. Okay. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, they worked on Attack on Titan, so they're also fans of the manga and anime. And this is going to be called The One Piece.
So it makes me wonder, are they going to change? Like, I wonder if this is going to be like just a shot-for-shot remake, like, just a remastering, or is this going to be...
What Oda had told him not to do, so it won't be for shot.
Oh.
Yeah, they have some liberties to tweak it a little bit, you know, kind of like how they did with the live action. They just better animations, a little more closer to the source material since that it's in animated form. You know, live action they can't be close.
They can't, no, yeah. It makes me wonder why they even attempt live action at all, to be honest, because I'm like, you can't. Why do live action for? And you know, I know this is just my personal take on live action. I just don't really like live action. Really anything, to be honest. Anything that was animated in 2D that transfers into live action, a lot of times I'm disappointed. But
you didn't see the One Piece live action yet?
I looked at a few clips. I played it on Netflix, but I didn't go through it because I was just like, I don't know.
It's good,
and I know
they did a great job.
Which that blows my mind that so many One Piece fans give it the stamp of approval. And I'm like, okay, they must have did something right, but I'm always a little wary about live action.
And they didn't do it shot for shot neither. They took some liberties and they had to take out a lot of characters.
With One Piece, you would have to, make it a little more focused, way more focused. Because I watched.
And they added a storyline as well that was not in the beginning.
Oh wow!
So they revealed some things that weren't revealed in the East Blue arc.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you seen the Yu Yu Hakusho live action on Netflix? I think it's on Netflix.
No,
I believe that's Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. I didn't watch seen that on.
Oh, okay, that was one that I didn't feel too bad about. It was like, oh, this feels when I'm watching it, it gives me the same kind of vibe as Yu Yu Hakusho, the anime. I'm like, oh, the characters that's kind of on par for the characters. Yeah, okay. Well, hey, if they did good with One Piece live action, that's impressive then. So you said there, well, man, I wonder if this is going to be like Full Metal Alchemist, where, there's two sets and they're like just kind of different, I wonder if this new The One Piece is going to just be kind of, have some similarities, but some major departures,
Right, they showed there's a behind the scenes video on YouTube. I didn't watch it all the way through. I just seen like of it. They had people who were behind it interviewing it. Being interviewed and talking about it. I was like, I gotta save this because I have to read something. Let me say watch this like.
Yeah. Did they say why they're doing it? Like I always wonder, besides money, of course, I always wonder what the goal is.
The goal here is just for the new generation to get into it, basically, because there's a lot of people in Gen Z and then Gen Alpha who's getting into anime. Their introduction is like Demon Slayer and all that, and their animation is off the chart, Jujutsu Kaisen and stuff. So they're just like, I don't want to watch that dusty stuff.
Yeah.
Passing the torch as well, because a lot of the people on this team I heard were younger animation people. They haven't been in the game that long. They've done some things, but they're not like veterans. So they're probably gonna have. It hasn't been announced yet if they're gonna have same voice actors or not, but most likely they won't, since they're trying to get the new generation past the torch, because the original voice actors, they're up in age.
Yeah.
Like they're in their 60s, 70s and stuff. Like.
Because One Piece has been going on for like 30 years. Yeah.
I think the person who was, I forgot her name, but I know it, but I can't think of it. She is the voice of Luffy. She's been in the game for probably 30 plus years.
Right. Yeah.
I think she was already a veteran by the time One Piece was released in 99.
Yeah, she's probably ready to get out. Yeah.
So this is her last project. After One Piece, after it's done, like she's gonna retire. She's not doing any more voice.
See, I trust that the quality of the animation will be top tier. I'm thinking of Dragon Ball Z specifically, and how they're trying to still connect with the younger generation with Dragon Ball Super, and they're doing it successfully. And it's, when I watch it, I love to criticize Super, and I'm like, this, I just have to remember this wasn't written for me. I've aged out of their demographic, and so I'm hoping that with the One Piece that they are successful, which I know they will be, but I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm older. I'm always like, if you already did it, take on a new story, do something different, and let the older generation just have One Piece, and it can still be in the One Piece world, but just do something different.
There are so many stories that can be done in the One Piece world. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. And I understand wanting to refresh a property and And I assume they're going to make it shorter. I don't think anybody wants like 1,000 episode series anymore. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they do. Hopefully, it's not a waste of money and time for them.
Right. And also talking about, speaking of changes, so I've been noticing the rise of webtoons being animated.
Right.
Becoming anime that's Japanese anime.
Right.
So the newest one I just saw that got released on Crunchyroll was True Beauty.
Okay. I don't think I've heard of that one. Okay.
So that's a very popular webtoon. It was already put in a live action K-drama. It was made into a K-drama.
Wow.
And now it's an anime. And I'm just like, okay.
That's dope.
You know what's interesting about that is I remember watching a K-drama that was a webtoon, but this webtoon was a manga before it was a webtoon. It was a manga, a Japanese manga called Playful Kiss. It was something different Kiss. And then came a K-drama live action and a live action Japanese one as well.
Wow.
Only saw the K-drama one because I had my favorite actress in it. And it's Jun Ho-mi.
Now I really gotta check it out.
It's hilarious. It was released in 2012 though, so the film qualities back in those K-dramas back in those times kind of wasn't as the same as it is now.
But see, I that's kind of why I like older K-dramas, because I'm like, I know this ain't the greatest quality, but it's very, I don't know, it's how I know I'm watching a K-drama. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is a little dusty, but this is cool. I like it.
Tell me why I watched a K-drama. I believe it came out in 2008. I saw the microphone in the shot. It was so funny. I think it was because it was on a website that it wasn't the completed edited version of something, because it literally was in the shot. They was holding it. It wasn't a boom tube. It was an actual microphone. What you hold on stages. And somebody was like underneath the camera just holding it up for the boy. I was like, oh my gosh.
What? I'm like, yeah, whose job was it? Somebody got fired. Somebody had to have gotten fired.
Kind of like the Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And see, that's wild that I missed that. It's like, dang it, why do I always miss cool stuff? Like, they were just talking about in the Olympics, all these people throwing up anime references and all these athletes doing anime references, and you look it up and of course they're all doing it, and I'm like, I was watching the mess out of the Olympics. I didn't see none of that.
So much going on, you can't see it all.
Right. Yeah.
Dude, and so these anime adaptations, so it was like in Korean webtoons like Solo Leveling, True Beauty, God of High School. We talked about that before. Returner's Magic Should Be Special. Haven't heard that one. It might be one of the isekais. When I woke up, I became a bagel girl. Why Liana ended up at the Duke's mansion, and then Dr. Elise, the royal lady with the lamp. Those are just name a few that just like recently, like in like past 5 to 6 years that came out. They were webtoons. Like, this is becoming a popular thing. They're no longer just looking at the manga material. They're looking at the manhwas now too.
Yeah. Which I love. I love that these studios are, going to different sources and like, giving opportunities to just amateur artists and stuff. People who are just made their own kind of work, and then they get picked up by, I don't know how it all works per se, but yeah, I'll be strolling through Crunchyroll too, and Didi is like, oh, that was a webtoon. Oh, that was a webtoon, because she reads them, And I'm like, maybe I should download webtoons and
Dude, they're good. They are good. The other one that I forgot to mention was Lookism. That guy, yep, that was on Netflix too. Animated in this webtoon. It's ongoing.
Okay, Lookism.
Lost interest though because it started getting
like too spicy, or
not too spicy. Just where it was like, okay, this is taking a turn that hasn't been. I don't know what it is. I just feel like it wasn't built up right, for the story to be going this direction.
Oh yeah.
I feel like we're losing focus on what the main thing was.
I see.
I guess the main thing did switch.
I think I can see what you mean, because sometimes I'll be watching something And yeah, sometimes it's kind of like, I thought the focus was on something else. Like, why are we spending so much time on this, you know? And yeah, it can be confusing sometimes. It's like, I don't know, sometimes it's hard to see what the writers are trying to do.
Right. Yeah, so we are 1 minute in. Let's get to the anime of the week.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I always forget that we're actually talking about a specific show.
Yeah.
But yeah, Under Ninja, which is on Crunchyroll, of course. And I'm sure it's on other streaming platforms. But I was just scrolling through, and I was like, okay, the art looks pretty decent. You know, it looks pretty modern. But yeah, I don't know. I'll let you. Did you have something to start off with?
I'll just do the synopsis of it. So basically, Under Ninja is about a three-way war between the Japanese government, their split forces of ninja that were very critical in the Second World War. But after that war ended, the ninja faction split into two, and one of those factions are called the Under. And the story takes place around four or five student ninjas. Well, they're not student ninjas, but they're like chunins or something like that.
Something like that. Chunins or
Genins?
I think they're Genin.
Yeah, they're Genins. Yeah. Genin ninja who infiltrate a high school that used to be a government facility that also housed the ninjas and their technology manufacturing stuff. And it's one of those where I had to really decipher what the heck was going on.
Oh, so it's not just me. Okay.
So that's why I stopped halfway in this synopsis. So basically, it takes place at this high school surrounding these 5 or 4 Genins, and now their goal, they don't even know. They just know that their higher ups sent them to infiltrate the school and wait for further, like they have to discover as they're going through the mission what to do.
And some of them don't even realize that other Genin are on the mission too. They'll show up and like, oh, you're here too. Oh, wait, why are there so many of us? And then through various, I don't know, various information or events, you kind of figure out that, this is like a very big kind of to-do. Like something is popping off. But the show, I will say the show does kind of a good job of downplaying the seriousness of everything.
Right.
Yeah, I'll let you continue with the synopsis.
Yeah, so the person that they shined the light of, who's the main character, was a guy who lived by himself. Well, he lived in the closet of another man, an older man, above this younger woman. Their interactions were just super fun.
Very funny and very
cringe as well.
Yeah, very cringe in some spots. I'll let you continue.
There's one scene where he walked in on his roommate basically and was like, why are you wearing this bra? He's like, tell me about it over some beer.
So deadpan, just so casual.
They get to talking and then he's like, okay, you explained that, but that still doesn't explain why you're wearing this bra.
But why was there an actual explanation that kind of made sense? But then next scene, this fool is wearing the bra too, and I was like, "What is happening? What is going on?"
And to give you a visualization, it was a man in his probably mid-40s, balding, glasses, wrinkly,
missing a tooth too, I think, something like that.
Down bad type dude.
Right.
One blow away from being homeless. Wearing this bra, this 20-something-year-old woman's bra.
The dude said, I don't even know if we should explain the scene. I feel like we should just leave it.
I was like, it's too wild. Like, why? And then, cut some few more scenes later, you see the main character with the bra on, and he gets caught by his superior.
Yeah. But then why did he debrief him while still wearing the bra too? He didn't even have him take it off. It's like, why are y'all doing this?
And yeah. But to end the synopsis off, the goal of the Under Ninja, that's the only agenda that we actually know who, purpose what was going on, is the Under Ninja, the faction against the ninjas who are trying to still obey and be in peace with the Japanese government. Is trying to kill all the ninjas.
What I had a hard time deciphering a lot is who's on what side. So many, I'm just like, okay, I get that y'all are fighting each other, but I'm having a hard time knowing who's
And that was done on purpose
okay.
because they don't know who's on whose side.
Okay, maybe that's where I was lost at.
Yeah, they don't know who's on whose side. They're just like, okay, like especially the first mission that he gets in a long time. The main character, his name was Juro, I think. Whatever the number 9 is in Japanese, that's what.
Because he explained his name as being, I'm the 9th son. He was like, I'm an only child. I was like, okay, why did your parents? I know there was a conversation about that. His dad being confused by what his mom had said during his birth and named him the wrong thing. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know if that's like significant or if that's just a joke. I don't know.
It was significant because at the end of season 1, I think there's going to be another season.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Full circle. Thank you, James, for connecting the dots for me, because... Sorry, whoever's listening, I know you don't know what we're talking about, but we'll maybe touch on that later. Yeah.
Maybe I'm trying to do a non-spoiler because the fun of this is just trying to figure out who's on whose side, what are these factions, like why are they interacting with each other, and not really fully understanding what their mission is, even though they're being told to go on these missions, like where to go. Because when it starts off, they're just like bored out their mind. The ninjas have no mission. Only the under ninja are active doing stuff, and so they're being very passive. But the international ninjas, though, they're active. And there's rules of engagement when the ninjas are at home. They can't wear like the fully camouflage clothing. That's why it's always just their torso. They're not able to wear the full. It's against all.
And I know she explained it a little bit. I think it was something, I forgot what she said. I guess they didn't want the government to know the extent of their technological advancement. Is that correct? Maybe I'm making that up.
Talking about Captain Sasama?
Yeah,
she was the captain, and she was basically the head of everybody who was on the side of ninja that want to keep peace with the government, even though the government is keeping them at bay, making sure that they don't do nothing or attack them or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, she was just explaining how their technology is not as advanced as the under.
Oh, okay.
And trying to figure out why they're so advanced and there's not. Like, she was basically hinting at the fact that there's somebody in the government or somebody somewhere who was funding them so that they can take us out.
Because I know another character, I can't remember who, it might have been her. Somebody said that, whatever they're doing, they have to have somebody bigger than them helping them out. And I don't know. I know the blonde dude, the blue-eyed, blonde-haired
Russian.
Yeah, the foreigner. That's what they keep calling him.
Yep.
I assume he's part of the international ninja. Or he's part of something, because he
became them. Yeah, he became part of that faction, part of that department in that faction, because he was trying to get into that, but I believe the Russian assassin group, they were telling him to infiltrate it for their, but he got flipped just like that. He didn't even really have a choice though, because he got captured.
It was like, oh, it kind of feels like they're saving him and his daughter. Oh, no, they're not. No. That was kind of a cold scene, though. That was probably, for me personally, that was one of the colder scenes of the show when they okay, I guess for the listeners, I'll actually, you know what? I'm kind of jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm jumping all over. I'll save that for later. I'll let you continue.
That's all I have for synopsis is basically 3 factions: Japanese government, ninjas, and under ninja. Under ninjas trying to take out the ninja. Japanese government wants to keep the ninjas at bay, and they limit them into what they can actually do inside the borders of Japan. While the under ninja, they have free range, using deadly weapons and all that. And 5 Genin trying to figure out what the heck is going on, stop the under ninja. They don't really know that's what they're doing though until people start to come up dead.
Yeah, it's like like you said earlier, I do appreciate that these are modern day ninja, and there's a lot of characters when you first see them, you're just like, okay, this is kind of weird, but then you come to find out, oh yeah, that's a ninja, and they're probably behaving weird to kind of fit in or to just deflect attention from them, or just doing their undercover thing. And so even the main character himself, the dude is just weird. He has weird interactions with like so many people,
I just remembered it was 4 Genin. I remembered.
Okay.
I think I was counting those 3 girls that were in high school as well that had that tan and those bad makeup.
Yeah. The weird blonde hair too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was counting one of them because the guy who was the grandson of somebody important, he had seduced her, and I think I was counting her among her because she had to see it. So really, just 4 of the ninja who was on the side of ninja.
Yeah, it was the dude with the long hair and the glasses, like you said, the dude with the teddy bear, and our main character Kuro, and then who was the last person?
The girl who was a foreigner as well. Seemed like a foreigner. She was blonde, kind of blonde.
Blake and going
I really.
Oh,
Suzuki.
yeah. And, it was cool how they showed how the ninja go undercover and how they live their undercover lives. And I think a lot of the comedy and the humor of the show kind of plays into them being undercover. So it's like the show for me has kind of a weird vibe to it, where it's like, I know the whole thing is this serious ninja war and like they're murking people on the low down, but the music in this show is kind of goofy sometimes, and then like the humor is deadpan sometimes, and it's low-key kind of dark in some spots. And so it kind of throws me a little bit, but then it'll turn to have like some really gruesome parts, like people's heads getting cut off, people's legs and stuff, stabbed in the face. I'm just like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Like what?
They had a scene, the very opening of the show was a dude who had his thumb in top of his head chopped off.
Right.
Like, it wasn't the full head, it was the top. Like, just his lips were left. His bottom lip and down.
Yeah.
Everything else cleaned off.
Right. And there's just a few moments of like kind of extreme gore like that. And like, oh, I don't know how to feel about this show.
Dude, but you were talking about the characters and how different they were and kind of depends. So who was your favorite?
So, to be honest, probably, I'm so bad with character names, but it's the girl who lived under them, the alcoholic. Not because she's an alcoholic, but just because she's quirky, dude. She's so weird. She's aloof also, and I'm just like, is she a ninja? There was one point where they were like,
she might be though. They said if you throw a stone in Japan, you'll hit a ninja, but you don't know who the ninja is because you won't know who it is.
Exactly. And the way they play her character and the dude, that he's rooming with, that Kuroto is rooming with, the one who was wearing the bra, you kind of dismiss him as well because he's also a goofy, he's comedic relief, for the show. So you think. And they haven't shown him to be a ninja or anything like that, but there's a character who's like, are they his bodyguards? Are they ninja? Are like they part of this too? Like Kuro's superior at one point has his room inspected while he's out because, like you said, you don't know who you can trust. So he's like having his room kind of, okay, who is he with? And they're kind of suspecting those two. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. They might be. Who knows,
I didn't think about it. Might be. I just figured they were just 2 very bizarre people who. Dumb.
Yeah, right. Right. The man washed the bra and was like, I can't give the bra back because it's too clean. And I was like, is that why you're wearing it? Like, dude, what? That's so stupid. That's so stupid. Oh, man. Dude talking about, it just was flying up in the sky, and I looked down and this kid was staring at me. He was like trying to make up some weird story, and Kurt was like, oh yeah, that was just a kid with a drone. He was trying to steal this bra. It's like, oh. Okay.
Then there's scene with the woman, the girl from the bottom. She was literally having a whole conversation with a bike, and then the bike was like, yeah, I want the cat. Like, where did that motorcycle come from? It was not there. She just having a whole conversation talking, oh, the cat wants to ride it? And then she just waves them off as they go. Like, what is going on?
But why the cat riding the motorcycle like talking about some and just meow 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 meow. Oh, this cat is talking kind of funny. What? James, I kind of lost it at first. So y'all, there's a scene maybe halfway through the series with it starts off with a cat on a roof, and the cat is talking to himself. And at first, I thought it was somebody being bored and looking at this cat, like, do whatever it's doing on the roof. I thought he was like making a voice for the cat, but no, it's actually the cat talking to himself. What? That That was so bizarre, dude.
It's like, now we got talking animals. There was no indication that there'd be talking animals.
Not at
And then
all.
episode later, there's a talking motorcycle. Like, what is happening?
Man, that was unique. But I was like, oh, so. But anyway.
Yeah, but my favorite character is Okanobe. I think that was her name.
Yeah, the girl in the suit.
Yeah, she was an international ninja who was doing all the international missions. She had some clean. She was the one who did the work at the very beginning. Opening scene. That was her who cut that dude's head and thumb off.
Yeah.
Yo, she was clean. And they had showed a little glimpse of her in Suzuki's backstory of them being the valedictorians of their ninja school.
Yeah.
And they both had seduced 49 people each. It's like they seduced all the males of the student class. They had no idea they was getting the seduction ninjas.
Yeah.
And it was nothing like they didn't do anything sexual in seducing. It was just more getting them to confess their love to them. So they had got 49 confessions.
I'm like, this y'all all ninja. Y'all all suck. All suck.
And the graduating person, he was like, and none of you fools suspected it.
And then she said the one dude confessed his love in a cat language that he made up. Because this fool's name was Nekohara. I was like, dude, that's so stupid. And of course, that's the dude who got turned into a cat later. So he's speaking cat. I was so mad that him and this dude was speaking cat to each other. I was just like, this is a bizarre scene right now.
It was weird. That Neko though, Okanobe, the reason why I liked her because of how freaking clean and precise she was. Like when she did a move, it was just one move and it was basically like if she's your target, you're done basically.
Yeah, but it's why I was. Oh, go ahead.
I was just about to say she was too cold, and also the fact that she was so cold that she got some of the girls to confess to her.
Yeah, she was like, even some of the girls. She's like, oh yeah, you were always good with the ladies. I was like, okay.
But what was you about to say?
Just that at the end when she's fighting basically one of the dudes that she got to confess, they brought him back later to, I guess, start stuff at the school. He's got the top of the line ninja suit.
Yeah.
They called him, it started with an M.
It's like Makin Tisu, something like that. Makin Nisu.
Something like that, yeah. And so far, they've made these suits. So these suits, for those who don't know, there's different prototypes. And like the latest prototype, as far as our main characters know, is version 4.0. And it's a hoodie. It's like blade resistant. It's like, of course, bulletproof. It turns invisible, but just the top half. So it's like, it has limitations. But the rival factions group, their suit is like can totally be invisible. And they even have like, I don't know how they do it. They don't explain it. But if you're holding a sword, that sword is also invisible. Like anything you're touching is also invisible. Like even to like. There's no warping, like they can't see you on camera, and so the suit is just like so top of the line that it's giving them the upper edge. And I was kind of hoping that at the end, because that person with that suit and your girl with her suit, they square off in the end.
Yeah.
But to me, the fight wasn't quite. I don't know. It wasn't as robust as I had hoped. I know her skills, but I was kind of hoping for a flashier fight. But
me too. The fact that she wasn't using the invisibility was weird.
Yeah.
As soon as he appeared, she took the invisibility off and then didn't go back.
Right.
I understood why, but at the time it happened, I didn't understand. Then I realized, like, oh, she didn't want the person, Suzuki, they were working together, she didn't want her to attack her.
Oh.
Because remember, she was on guard for anything movement, and she was able to detect off of instinct when the dude was going to strike. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so she just instincts turn around, but it was Okanobe who came up, and then she went and came out from invisible. Like, it's me, don't worry, but he is here, and duck.
Yeah, that's okay. So that was that scene. Okay, yeah.
After that, she should have went back invisible.
Yeah, and also in my mind, so you all know that this is the final battleground. Once like your enemy has shown up, I'm like, okay, this is all a fight now. Not just kind of little tiff that they had, and they both still ended up killing each other. But I'm like, in my mind,
It was
I'm like,
very
Columbine-ish.
yeah. But I was still kind of confused on, okay, so James, maybe you understood this better. But they're at this school full of all these high school students, and this dude is just going around kind of blindly killing people. And yeah, the people in that vicinity of him murdering them, they're panicking, but like the rest of the school is kind of just like continuing on. So I don't.
The school is so big. They were in 2 different buildings.
Is that what's going on? Okay.
yeah.
I didn't realize.
The students, they're hearing that there's such an intruder, but then that person who was they called him the communication thrower, something with communication.
Yeah.
He told them to not panic and go back in class. So the people who weren't in the building that was getting murked, and there's also different floor levels as well.
Okay.
And the killer, he was going to go from building to building, but when the box mecha thing came, he limited his ability to move.
Okay.
Building from jumping and going through the foreign port. So he only is limited to one building.
I was just kind of, because I'm like, the students that he's like killing, the ones who witness it, they run off. I'm like, are they not going and like screaming bloody murder and telling the whole school? Like, I was kind of wondering where those students, unless he killed them all and they didn't show it. I don't know.
They were just trying to get out of it.
Oh, so you're saying they just ran out of the school and just...
Also, they couldn't run out of the school for the fact that they would get gunned down.
Yeah, it was
by,
surrounded.
Yeah,
that was...
Yeah, it's one of the climax is just a school massacre by one of the under ninjas. But he was there to actually make chaos. But really, within that chaos, he was trying to assassinate.
The whole setup reminds me of a syndicate. They're not a syndicate. Well, as far as... I don't know. It's not like they're a crime organization, but I know they were talking about the 7 leaders that they were talking about, 7 ninja leaders, and you kind of see them at the end. They're like all really old, old ladies, old people, and they are. So the grandson of one of them, I guess, he's a ninja. And he's been tasked with infiltrating the school as well.
Yep. One of the 4 Genin.
Mm-hmm. And so yeah, like you said, he was the real target, and I kind of forgot what happened after that. Oh, he gets attacked, but then the dude runs away. Yeah, something like that. Isn't that what happened?
He gets injured and runs off.
Yeah.
His grandfather or mother, they didn't really explain that. They said their name, and I guess their gender now was gonna be, I don't know, it was a baby.
That was wild.
And now I know why that homeless get-up was going around trying to give breast milk.
I was like, because at first, I was like, what is this show? Why is this old hobo, first of all, pumping breast milk, and then trying to give it to these kids? Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
I won't spoil that neither, Louis. We can't, but just know there's a homeless man having breast milk and trying to go around trying to feed it to kids.
And pretty much just anybody he comes across. Like, why?
Talking to one of the other people, like, you want some breast milk? It's like,
yeah. Just so weird, dude.
That baby had a brain implant of one of the old people, head of the ninja clan, and the grandson's supposed to be a heir to it. And next in line, all of them was in the other 6. They was like, well, there were really 5 of them around. They was like, yeah, we can't wait till our surgery.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's one of those where they're not willing to give away the power.
Yeah.
Oh, like when you're not willing to give up the power at that way, you're trying to hold on to it. That's when stuff does not go your way. It's just not maintained.
And I think it was either the last episode or second to last. It was one of the side characters. He wears glasses. You usually see him with Captain. I forgot the captain's name. But anyway, he was like, oh, I wonder if this is a fight between the newer generation and the older generation. Like, is there a fight, kind of happening? You're like, oh yeah, I can see that, because these old people are kidnapping babies and just doing the get out on them, just swapping their brains out. It's like, oh, that's wild.
Yeah. Actually, that wasn't a kidnapped baby. That was the baby from the captain.
Oh,
that was
right.
the captain's.
That's right.
The captain's.
What's her name? Sasama. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that was like that. Like I said, this show sometimes has really dark moments, and I'm like, so you're saying What?
You saying that you were ordered to have a child and then have that child's brain swapped out for this old person?
Right.
Wow. And you were loyal enough to do it.
And she seemed like she did not have any qualms, like, whatsoever.
Right.
No regrets.
Right. But at the same time, at the end, and it kind of hints, this is not, to me, this is what I interpret that she is a traitor.
Because this is why I like have to do some more research on the show, maybe read the manga, because I was a little confused. They, like you said, it was at the end, they said something about her, and it was like real brief, and they like flashed her face across the screen for like a hot second, implying that, you know, like you just said, hey, there's kind of underhanded motives going on. I'm like, oh, I don't know what that means though.
Right, because some of the people who were on the ninja side, they did seem like they were helping the under ninja.
Yeah, like the
Like
one
that
dude.
tech girl.
Oh, you said what girl?
Tech girl who kept getting,
With the eye patch?
yep,
Yeah. Yeah, she seems definitely suspicious.
because she was very nonchalant about all that was going on. Tom some, well, if so-and-so dies,
Yeah.
I kind of like him, but it doesn't really matter. But if so-and-so, she has to die.
Yeah. Oki.
Yeah,
Is it
Okinobe, yep, my favorite character. Yeah, she has to die. And then when they was on the phone, she's like, die, B. This is gonna be your death. You're crazy.
But she was like, all right, does she hate me or something?
It's like, probably because you're the reason her eye is out.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's because she was annoying. What? Cold. Just cold. Like I said, the humor is like really weird. It's like, oh, okay.
The whole Sasuke and her obsession with old men, that was so weird.
Because the whole time I'm like, is she being serious? Is this part of her cover? Oh no, I think she actually has a thing for, and like some of these dudes are just ugly. They're not even like attractive older men. Like why?
She's like, that old man smell. Like,
Why? Yeah, dude, just bizarre.
that whole editor though, her being the editor for that dude who did novels.
Yeah.
Why was that at the end so significant?
They spent so much time, and I'm like, oh, why are all these ninja popping up in this dude's house? Like, how does this dude just become the unofficial, like, ninja ghostwriter? Like, what's going on?
Right? Dude, that kind of low key when they were talking about all these dates, and I kind of wanted to see if those was real or not, but I was too lazy to look up any of those because I was like, this is all in Japan and it's not international stuff. So I'm not sure how much I'll actually be able to find, and also I don't care that much, but it piqued my interest.
Yeah.
For a hot second.
I mean, the show did have a lot of kind of local stuff too, and that's kind of why I wonder if why I didn't get the humor. I don't know if it was because it was more local, like Japanese kind of humor, or if maybe just wasn't for me. But I did like.
I said maybe.
What else was I gonna say? Like the show. Oh, the way the show is cut together, it was really confusing to me at first. I mean, even till the very end, it was still confusing to me. But after, like, maybe the third episode, I was like, okay, now I kind of get how they're jumping back and forth. And I can kind of tell better what's a flashback versus what's present day, you know?
It was very momental.
Right.
Dude, that is funny that you say that, because I told that to Didi. Yeah, I was like, this reminds me of Memento. They're just, like, jumping back and forth. For me, I think they could have done a better job of tying scenes together. Like in Memento, they do a really good job of orienting you, like when they're jumping back and forth. It's like, okay, I remember, I don't know, it's something like the phone rang. Okay, the phone rang at that point. Okay, now I can tie these two scenes together, or whatever it might be. But with Under Ninja, it was kind of hard for me to orient myself, because when they would jump back and forth, it was like, okay, wait, okay, now I see what's going on. It kind of would take me a minute, you know. But not that it's a super bad thing, but it was just kind of a little hard to follow sometimes.
So I had to watch the first 4 episodes twice to get what the overarching theme was, but I was able to kind of get it. So what do you think it was?
For the first 4 episodes?
Not just for but for the entire first season.
Yeah, to be honest, it was really hard for me to grasp. I don't think I got it. It's like I understand what the plot is and what the story and what the characters' motives are. But in terms of like a theme of the show, I couldn't really pick one out.
Yeah, mine, what I had gathered was old allies, new enemies due to lack of trust of each other, and what they will do with power.
Okay, I can see that.
So, because remember, all these groups that are fighting this infighting, they were all together during World War. They split. They are all very powerful, but they have one that's being pacified. They having these ninjas trying to run away or turn so they can have war.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be pacified. They don't want to be cat at bay. They want to kill. And then the others, like, we got to kill y'all before you turn to get up.
Okay.
Old allies to new enemies.
So it is, I guess I was always confused on what, so I kind of understood like one group is kind of like, I don't know, public protectors, you know, they just kind of keep an eye on, you know, society. I never really understood what the goal is of, I guess I don't really understand the true nature of why these two factions are at war with one another. So what you just said kind of helps shed a little more light on it for me, because I'm like, I get y'all at war, but what are you at war for? Like, why is
Under Ninja, they're at war because they want war. They love.
Oh, they just want conflict in the world.
Yes.
Period.
They love to throw the hands, and they need to fight. And the people who can stand and give them a good fight is Ninja. That there. The other Ninja
Okay.
want to maintain the peace. The 7 want to maintain their power and all the benefits it has being at the head and the top. So a lot of the people who are under them are going to the under ninja because they're like, hey, you're not giving us anything. And the Japanese government are afraid of the ninja and ninja. They are afraid of all the ninjas because they're so powerful, and they like, and they don't really have that much control. They have a little bit of control right now, but at the same time they have no control.
Okay.
Yeah, because the government's faction was those 3 badly tan, different type of stage makeup. Like those,
The one that got seduced.
those 3 girls, yeah, they were part of the government's department.
Okay. Because I remember one of them saying that they were just the foot soldiers, and so I'm like, okay. It's definitely one of those shows where, like what you had to do, I also had to rewatch the first like 3 or 4 episodes over, because I'm just like, I'm no, like I started watching it, and then I was like, I'm not gonna lie, it started a little slow for me. It was boring. I was like, should I tell Jens we could do a different one? I was like, no, no, gotta do it. No, just keep going.
It did get off a little slow, and the humor was not hitting for me for at the beginning, because I was kind of like, why is this old person trying? That's disgusting. Like, why they gotta get this breast milk? Like, this is no.
And then they were talking about chopping off dick, and I was just like,
Yeah.
where's this coming from? Like, what? Like, literally, y'all, I don't even know if this was real or not, and unfortunately this dude succeeded. Somebody told him, if you chop off 3 dicks, then you know, a ninja will appear. You'll meet the ninja. This dude that was part of the Russian assassination group getting blackmailed, or, you know, his daughter was getting threatened, and they gave him the task of infiltrating these ninja in Japan, which nobody has ever done, so it's like an impossible task, but he did it. And yeah, he's just chopping off 3 dicks, and he's like, oh, I only chopped off 1, and I met a ninja. And then, I don't know, his story from there kind of, I assume is going to lead on in the 2nd season, if there's going to be one.
Yeah, I think so too, because he joined the international faction.
Yeah.
International Department of the Ninja.
Yeah.
In that scene, you remind me though, that was hilarious. And he was trying to chop off the hobo's penis, and then he was like, to get past his moral dilemma, he had a picture as a wiener, and then he chopped it, and then he realized it's actually a...
But then this old hobo dude proceeded to jump on the wall and like Spider-Man crawl on the wall, and I was like, what?
Dude, you know what was sending me though, Lewis? At first it wasn't, it was annoying, but then it kind of got funny, was the torso being invisible.
Yeah.
Invisible. Like, what is the purpose of this? And people actually being confused, like, where they at? Like, what?
It's like in cartoons when they like put on the dumbest disguise, and it's like, oh, you're the real person.
Glasses
like,
with the mustache and the nose. Fake glasses with the mustache.
Yeah. I'm like, is this a cartoon? It's a cartoon, but is this like Looney Tunes? Like, but then after a minute, I was like, you know, I I can see it.
Good day to you, sir.
Huh?
No, I just made a reference. Family Guy reference. It's Brian and Stewie. Good day to you, sir. Oh, wait a minute. Where's my money?
Oh, James, that clip brought me and Lavelle to tears. For a hot minute, that was all we referenced for a long time. Wait a minute, what, the devil? That's good, OJ. Bow! You got enough money to pay for the fake mustache. How much you pay for that? $3.99. What? Anyway, but yeah, it's like I get, you know, if somebody's shooting at you, or, you know, if you're in a knife fight, it kind of throws their accuracy off because they can't really tell where your vital organs are. But it was, like you said, kind of funny that I'm just like, okay, it's just their top torso. And like you said, people get confused by it. But so the way they cut the story is, like you said, a little bit like Memento, which, I mean, it keeps you kind of watching because you're like, okay, what's kind of going to happen next, and the way they cut it. But I do just kind of wish that it was a little more, give me a little more clues, like, you know, to piece those scenes together. But I don't know.
And I was also confused by how some of the characters were introduced and they were building on them. And their attachment somehow from, like, the main character had an attachment to that one girl. And he kept she's like, how did you know where I live? He like, don't you remember that one time I followed you home without you knowing? He's like, don't be weird.
But why was she so okay with it? Like, you could tell she was a little weirded out, but she just was like, oh, okay. And then he left. She's like, oh, that's it? You're leaving? Like, that's all he wanted? Like, what?
That was when he was snug in her room and was hovering above her bed. She's like, ah!
But what's wrong with her parents? Her parents don't care about her. They don't care about her.
It's like, go to bed. There's nothing there.
I know you can hear this girl screaming at the top of her lungs. I know you can. And I didn't really quite understand her role in the show either.
Right. I was like, okay, there's no more significance than just her being. It was kind of weird. I was like, okay, it was strange. And the other person was that one dude got fooled by the same girl twice. Who was part of Under Ninja, that girl?
Yeah.
She lead you to get jumped by your bullies?
Dude, man.
I didn't understand his role. He had the drone and all that. I guess he was able to help Kuro find the foreigner.
Yeah. Like you said, I was confused on the whole time I was trying to figure out what his role was in terms of the plot. But I don't think he really, I don't know. It's like, I know they kind of used his character to have Kuro, like you said, find the foreigner, but then also infiltrate the other school, I guess. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah.
See,
because his information was useless.
Yeah. So,
he was out of school for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And
I guess it just showed the moral compass. He was able to show the moral compass of here. You been him from the.
Yeah, those parts were pretty funny. I think he killed the one student. I was like, I know you put him to sleep, but you snapped his neck. Like, that dude is dead.
That's why I was like, oh, we doing that. Oh.
Yeah. And the music was like not serious. So I was like,
is he not dead?
And the other student was just like, he did not even say anything. He just was like, oh, this must be a ninja. And he was like obsessed with it from then on. I was like, your friend just got his neck snapped. Like, you don't even care about that dude slumped over there? Like, what?
Well, talking about moral compass, let's get to the Kingdom Link.
Hey, if you can find one. Because, like I said, I was having a hard time even thinking of a theme. So, yeah, what you got?
Able to. Holy Spirit got me because I was having a hard time too. That's why I had to rewatch it. And then it came to me without going. I was like, oh, Unseen War.
Oh, hey, there you go. Yeah.
Unseen war going on. The thin line between peace and war, holding your peace, having a war within. In a divided house. Divided house is not going to stand.
Yeah.
Foreign threats, a lot more susceptible for foreign threats to enter in your house when it's divided.
Yeah. Oh, see. Oh, go ahead.
Then you was about to go ahead. I'll let you go before I get into deeper.
No, I was just agreeing with you. I wasn't saying nothing.
Yeah, so it always says in the Bible how we don't use weapons that are carnal. We don't fight against flesh and blood, but against principality, stronghold, something else. Principality. I already said principality, stronghold. There's some more other things, but yeah, we don't. That's our war within the kingdom. Is spiritual thing. We can't see it. We don't always see it. And as civilians in the under ninja, they're not really knowing what's going on. Like when that bridge scene, there was 2 bridge scenes wherein the Russian guy had murked somebody and people were just going along, not really paying that much attention. And then at the end, again on the bridge, he got murked, but not a lot of people was paying attention at all. And life is just going on.
And I was like, they just left this dude's body on the bridge and walked away.
Yeah.
There's nobody saying nothing. There's no panic. There's what? And of course, afterwards somebody saw and probably panicked, of course, but
Right.
Like you said, the message is that, hey, we can take you out in broad daylight and won't make a fuss. Like you said, it's a hidden war.
Yeah, and not a lot of people are in Japan. They're not even realizing that ninja is so active.
Oh, because also you're not allowed to talk about ninja. It's like it's one of those things. It's like a very well-known secret. It's like, we know ninja exist, but don't talk about them because you could get into some trouble, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And in the kingdom, we are at war with these spiritual things, but we act like they're insignificant in a way, as we go along. It's just now, recently, because you know how the whole mental health is getting more talked about now. But like, that's only in the last 15 so years. Or we were just like hush hush, like anybody is having a mental breakdown or anything, we're just like, that's just them being weak and soft. And like, no, those are strongholds they're fighting against. Those are some spirits they're fighting against. Some principalities that are attacking them, and it's bringing them to a head where they're like, I gotta express this somehow, and no one else is listening.
Yeah.
So the unseen war in our minds that's going on daily, not a lot of people are aware of. And also just within a marriage as well, y'all could be warned against, but not a lot of things are being said by everybody else on the outside looking in like, oh, yo, like, no, we are fighting something right now. They trying to tear us apart. Like, this thing is trying to tear us apart. We not having it.
Yeah.
We are at wartime.
Yeah.
And other things too. So it's just, I was like, okay, dear, I'll see that. And then also the deadline between peace and war too, where just one thing, like, it only takes one thought, action, misunderstanding, or whatever to be at war.
Yeah, set things in motion.
Yeah, that in motion of war. Like, it seems like it's peace, and you just get hit with it. Like, what? Wow, I'm on the battlefield. I thought I was just going to get some coffee.
Which unfortunately some of them students probably actually experienced. It's like, oh, I'm going to get some lunch. Oh, here's some invisible dude like cutting you down. Like, oh, okay.
Man.
But yeah.
Like, that whole school just turned into a battlefield. Not even a really that big of a battlefield though, because this dude's invisible, so he's just hopping around and not facing a lot of resistance.
And like how they described the coming events, they're like, oh yeah, so peaceful now, but this school is about to be a battle zone. I was expecting it to be like an all-out battle between all these ninja on this side and all these ninja on this side, but it kind of wasn't exactly that. But I guess getting back to the point is like, oh, what I was going to say when you're talking about, the conversation on mental health nowadays and how it used to be so taboo and you don't want to tell nobody because people think you're crazy and that, oh, what you seeing, therapist? You all right? It's like, no, now it's like people understand that everybody has something different, and I feel like it helps us understand each other more. It's like, if I understand that, we all have our own kind of silent battles that we're going through, maybe that person is acting out, or maybe that person is making this bad life decision because of what they're going through, not because of them as a person. It's their circumstances, or it's whatever they're kind of dealing with. And there's maybe a little more grace and a little more empathy for people who are like going through anxiety or depression or whatever kind of thing they're going through. They're battling.
So true. That's how I was to have a lot more empathy from people, because I was very
empathetic. Like,
when somebody's acting out or doing whatever, I'm just like, whoop, the rules are the rules.
Yeah.
Down.
Yeah.
Now I give you a little more time, a little more grace. Get it together. I let you have your moment. Oh, it's too late. But there's a threshold. But it used to be a lot than what it is now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I still set my boundaries. So like, you're encroaching on the boundaries now. So now you're just. But I'm not the one to attack. I set boundaries. Make sure that they don't have another opportunity.
encroach on.
Oh yeah, because you always gotta, if it's something that somebody is doing against you or to you, because they feel like they, hurt people.
Yeah.
And like you said, yeah, absolutely set that boundary. You're like, all right, I would give you some grace, but you ain't about to just stomp all over me and my feelings and stuff, or whatever, just because you are having a bad day or because you're going through some.
And I always maintain the respect because
I understand. I'm like, yep, you're going. It's not. I'm not going to take it personal.
even though my ego is trying to take it personal, I have to keep it at bay. In my head, I'm doing some self-talk.
Oh, absolutely.
There be sometimes the ego want to jump out, like, who you talking to? You ain't talking to me like that. Shoot, you know I was about that life, huh? Hey, Jake. You wanna go 990?
I'm thinking of Chris Tucker from Rush Hour. He's like, don't let the purple robe fool you. This is the only color they had.
Yeah, that ego, they be a trip. I always gotta keep it at bay. Like, yep, I'm down. People going through their own things. Don't take it personal. And also, I want to hit on the divided house as well, because ninjas, they were together, now they're separated, and now that made one group a lot more passive to Japan. Because if they were together, Japan probably would be a lot more careful of dealing with them. They won't be having them treated like second-class citizens, like this while you undercover as a hobo.
Yeah, right. And even at the beginning, they were saying a lot of ninja don't have work. Like they're just. Like, even the main character, he doesn't have a fridge. He doesn't, he's just, literally been kind of a parasite. Well, so we are told. At the end, they kind of throw that into some questions, like, oh, maybe things aren't. Because they inspected his room. Come to find out, this dude has, a bunker under his floor. He's got, some weird stuff in his room. So it's like, oh, maybe he set this up like that. But at the beginning, what we're told is that a lot of ninja don't have work and they're just kind of, milling about. So yeah, it is, like you said, interesting that they treat them that way.
Right, and the government wouldn't be able to do that if they're together. And then also, we got a foreigner, I can go infiltrate the ninja. I know years ago that wasn't a thing.
Right.
They would never have dreamed of trying to infiltrate the ninjas.
Right. Especially the way this dude was doing it. At first I was like, why is he talking this way? It's later on he starts speaking very fluently, but at first he's just like, oh, I'm looking for the ninja. Where are the ninja at? And he's doing stupid stuff. I was just like, well, why is he behaving this way? I don't know. That part I didn't get, but
yeah. So them being more susceptible to foreign threats, and that same thing about us. It says that because this was Jesus talking when he was being confronted about since he was doing a lot of healing and all that, driving out demons. They accused him of being a son of devil. Something.
Oh yeah.
It's how would a devil drive out another devil? You're saying that is basically a Satan being against Satan, and a house divided cannot stand. So he's like, you wouldn't do that. You can't stand being divided. And that is really the tactic that has been used in America for so long to infiltrate different countries, also different communities as well, especially that black community in America. So when we were starting to build ourselves back up, well, actually, even before, when they were doing slavery, they made sure they separated families.
Yeah. Yeah.
They made sure you go to this plantation, you go to that plantation, state park, even countries.
Yeah.
Then they always made sure that the households are divided. They encourage women to be single, to give government assistance, better. Because if you broke and married, y'all can't get that much assistance. But if you single with some kids, oh yeah, you get a lot. Don't help you out. Yeah, and also when the whole crack epidemic and all that happened, it was like, oh yeah, just lock them up.
Yeah.
Out the house.
Yeah.
During the lynching, they was killing all the males.
Yeah, dude. Just setting people up and then using that as a means to, put them into control. It's been happening, for too long.
Yep, breaking up the family is the easiest way to keep people from getting ahead.
Yeah. That's why so many black men are in jail. Because it's for petty stuff, and even after they've revised the law, they still won't release the people. They're like, oh no, you got sent to jail under that law when it was, in state, but
yep, you gotta still serve that time.
Yeah, I'm like, how does that make sense? What? Okay, That's crazy.
It's very bizarre, and also that's why I love my church, the Ambassador Worship Center. Shout out, but they're all about family, trying to keep them together and bringing families back.
Oh, got you.
Every February and November are those 2 times talk about relationships. The whole marriage, or like being single and about to get married, they focus on that heavily. And then the second time is about family unit.
Oh, okay, I might have to look that up because, as you know, we're in the middle of that. So, and I always love coming across. There's no shortage of like parenting advice and self-help stuff that you see, and we'll see stuff on Instagram sometimes where we're like, oh, that's a cool way to prepare food, or that's a good technique for putting them to bed, or whatever it is. But you don't really get stuff like what Ambassador is doing with like relationship stuff. Is like, how's your relationship with your child, or your relationship with your spouse, or your relationship with yourself? Okay.
It's November. I'm through. Family series is coming up. There's this church equips us to go out and actually do something.
Yeah.
Like, and be leaders, and not just doing it just to do it, but like leader, boss, like be at top.
Yeah. And execute. Know how to execute your plan and mission. Because I didn't know Ambassador. I didn't know y'all was doing stuff like that. Like, but it's good to hear, churches and ministries actually doing action and stuff like that. I'm sure you've heard of Abide, and I know our listeners ain't gonna know none of this stuff. This is very local, but there is quite a few, or there's a few organizations, ministries that go out and do stuff. And Abide, they've got their hands in kind of a few different things, but I like that they try to develop affordable housing. They don't like build it. They'll go out and buy a house and like fix it up, and not just flip it, but like fix plumbing, fix the roof. One of them, they added like a whole second floor. I guess there's enough room in the house to add a whole second floor, and it was like, okay, this is cool. And they'll just clean up neighborhoods and stuff, and I know Ambassadors probably does similar kind of things for the community. And it's like, kind of tying it back in, of course, with our show. It's like, that's how you have a connected kind of house, when you're serving together and stuff. Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know Ambassador was doing that stuff.
And I also know about they have the whole lighthouse as well. Are they still doing that? Where they have people live in houses in neighborhood and organize neighborhood events and clean up, just fun things for neighborhood to do.
Yeah. I believe my Uncle Teddy is one of them. Yeah. And like you said, just being a lighthouse for that community, and especially in areas that are a little more, lower income, and not that those neighborhoods are like bad in terms of crime, but sometimes they just need a little love. Sidewalks are overgrown with weeds when there's a house down the street and like the grass is 5 feet tall because nobody lives there, and it's like, who's taking care of that stuff? And it's like these lighthouse leaders kind of help, like you said, get that, pretty much just help give the neighborhood some love and take that leadership. So yeah.
Right. And to close, round it up, so to give a little hope for these things, like when you're in unseen war, just know that there is hope, there's peace at the end of it. You have to seek it, though. You have to want it. It's available, especially when you look for it. Just call out to God. It will give you peace. Like, lay it all down. That's all. It's crazy how that peace is past all understanding. I went through a whole 1 year, Sabbath year, where I didn't really know. I tried to work my hardest, but every time I tried, something went wrong. It was because I was not supposed to be working. And so I stopped working, and stuff was still getting done. Bills were still getting paid. Like, my car was still getting taken care of.
Yeah, like you said, sometimes you just gotta trust in the process that maybe you don't fully understand, and just kind of, I know things don't always work out for everybody, and people have their certain, we all struggle and stuff, and we all have those moments in our lives where we're like, okay, I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this week, but like you said, you just gotta take things day by day. And even if you don't believe in God, whatever your belief system is, you just try your best to trust in the process. And just all we can do is just keep doing our best. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. So
do what is in front of you.
Yeah.
Whatever's in front of you, don't try to reach out for something that's on the side or stretch out. Like, nah, just when you're in those times, do what's in front. Focus on.
Mm-hmm.
especially if you feel like you're in a rut. Like whatever's in front of you, whatever the last instruction you told yourself you was gonna do that.
And also, I know a lot of people cringe when you say, I'm not supposed to be working, or I'm gonna take a break. In the U.S., our society, we're workaholics. Rest is for some reason not in our vocabulary, and it really should be. And it's like, if you're able to, I'm a very proponent of taking a break. Like, I even took the day off yesterday. I was like, I'm taking a day off. I need a mental health day. And it's okay, when you're not sure of where to go or what to do, take a pause. I don't know if that pause is 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days. If you can afford it, 5 months, hey, it's like sometimes you need that break if you can afford it. Sometimes life doesn't let you take that rest, but I don't know, it's hard.
And or when you find your house divided or on the verge of being divided. Since I have not been married, I only can speak from the experience of a child from when our house was on the verge of being divided or stuff. My dad would let it the tension air out a little bit, and then we go do something fun. Together as one, like go get ice cream or something simple,
which is intentional. And it's like because we just hit 4 years this year, and still finding. I've never been good at communication, both verbal, text, it don't matter. Communication is just not my strong suit. And it has been very challenging to me, but also moments of growth for me in our relationship, to just say what I want, what I need, what I don't, just communicating and being on the same page is a lot of being intentional. And you were talking about ego earlier. It's like there's a lot of opportunity to have your ego ruin your relationship, because you're like, you feel like things should be a certain way according to how you see them. But it's like, no, if we're not going to have a divided house, sometimes I have to take a step back and say, hey, this is what's best for the relationship, and because I love this person, and develop your own understanding. And like step outside of yourself and try your best to put yourself in their shoes, and just really work to, okay, where are they coming from? Where am I coming from? How do we kind of mesh that together? And if we are clashing, like you said, take a step back, let the tension kind of dissolve a little bit, and then you come back and do something together.
Then and after you do that thing, then you, like you said, that communication, gotta be intentional about it though, saying exactly what it is.
Yeah, with love and civility, not. It's real easy to let your temper flare or whatever it is, or anxiety or fear, and that kind of comes out in your voice. But if you can take a beat and just say, okay, I know I'm feeling real tense right now. It's like, let me just woosah a little bit and maybe just step away and say, hey, you know what? I'm feeling real tense. I need to step away from this conversation for like 5 minutes. And then kind of come back to it, or whatever your process is with your partner or friend or whoever it is, mother, father, family members especially. And it's like, what was I going to say? Just realizing that at the end of the day, you're both on the same team. A lot of times it's hard to realize or keep in mind that you're on the same team. Like, you're not trying to hurt this person and they're not trying to hurt you. Y'all are just voicing what you're feeling inside, and it's coming across a certain way, and then that person interprets it as so it's like you need to always, at the end of the day, realize we're on the same team. Let me not try to tear this person down with my words. Let me try to work towards an understanding with this person, not we're battling each other. It's easier said than done.
It is. It's a lot of times when you feel like somebody's coming after you, you gotta put your guard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Some people are like, I'm gonna get you before you get me.
Yes. Which, funny enough, in the show, I believe she's working for the NEAN, the people with the government, and she kind of, there's a flashback to her regimen of training when they kidnapped her as a kid, and she says that she's in this room when it's daytime. She, you know, walks up hella stairs where all these kids are just duking it out. And at the end of the day, you go back, you go to sleep, and the next day you repeat it until there's only one left standing. And
that character name is Yamada, and she was part of the Undernet, part of Marley.
okay, I always get them mixed up. That's why I was confused for the whole show. But
she was crazy strong. She was the strongest. Getting
insanely strong, yeah. But now I forgot what I was saying.
You were saying how she was going there, and their whole message was like, all right, you have to kill or get killed.
Yeah.
Kill or be killed.
Yeah.
And a lot of us have that mentality.
Yes. And she even said, you have to strike your enemy before they strike you. And that's strength. And that's how she was able to be the last one standing out of her little training group and I guess become top of her class or whatever they said. And so it's like, yeah, that mentality that you have to get at your enemy before they get you is like, and I know this is kind of delving a little deeper than maybe we want, but it reminds me of the political turmoil that we're facing right now. And it's like, you know, a lot of Trump supporters, I feel like, he's like, yeah, we're all about power and strength, and we need to strike before we get struck. You know, it's kind of that mentality of absolute kind of power, you know, that I'm just like, ugh. That rhetoric is kind of scary. But anyway.
So you are ready for our last segment is now you know damn well. All right, Lewis. Now this would be very hard for me because I didn't know this. Like I don't know if you know this or not. So what does HBO stand for?
Oh yeah, home box office.
Yeah, there you go. You knew it.
Why did you ask some people and they didn't know?
No, I just saw that the other day when I was watching an HBO show and it just said home box office. I was like, hold up, that's the I never knew it was an acronym at all. It never occurred to me.
Yeah, I think that just happened to me. There was something that was, I can't remember. It's not going to come to me, but it was like, oh, that's an acronym? Like, what? Yeah. I don't know why I know that box office. I think it's because, like, when I was a kid, you know, HBO, they used to spell it out when they put on their movies.
Yep.
But they don't do it anymore.
All right, so I guess I gotta find another one. Or I guess I could work.
Yeah.
But it's not one of those common sense ones, is it?
I don't think so. No.
Because it has to be really easy or really hard. So you can ask me one that's really easy or hard.
Okay, so I kind of forgot. What kind of question am I asking again? Just something that you might not know.
Something that a lot of people, majority don't know, or a lot of majority people do know.
I feel like a diff reel just has something. No, it's not gonna come to me. I might have to add it in later in editing.
All right, so I got you. All right, so how many miles is it from the Earth to the Moon?
Oh dang! See, do I get any multiple choice, or is this just a total guess? Because I'm gonna say, well, let's see.
Here, let me give you some multiple choice.
I'm gonna say 10,000 miles.
All right, so here's your multiple choice. All right, so it's either A, 5 million miles, B, 3.5 million miles, or C, 3.5 K miles, 3.5 thousand, or 238 K miles.
Since that one's the weird number, I'm gonna say that one. Yeah, 238,000 miles.
Yep. I made it easy for a multiple choice, but you thought it was 10,000 miles? It's actually 238,900 miles.
Dang. That's funny because Didi was just saying that it's a conspiracy theory that the moon is hollow because it is an alien base that they were saying something about a lot of the craters are like the same kind of shallow depth or whatever because there's like some metal structure underneath that the asteroids are hitting. They can't penetrate any deeper. And there's some weird theory that the moon doesn't rotate and there's always a dark side of the moon because it like doesn't exist or something like that. There's like some weird stuff out there. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, y'all.
All I know is we probably couldn't know.
Right. Right.
Cause we can't. There's no way to prove that they actually been
Right.
except taking somebody's word for it. That's all we can do.
You bring me back a rock from the. How do I know? I don't know that rock. You just could have found that in the field over there. I don't know.
Especially when I saw the footage of them in a studio, whatever it was. I was like, what? I was like, that was set up like what they showed when they were on. I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
And of course, I'm like, if y'all went once way back then, you can't tell me that y'all would not have been on the moon like once a year, like since then. Come on now. So yeah. I'm like, I doubt we've been.
All we can take is people's words. It's like,
Yeah.
All right, so you got anything coming up, Lewis?
Like event wise, just studying for these exams, like I said, to get my architecture licensure. I keep hearing from people that is intense to study for, and I've studied a little bit, but I'm behind in my studying, and I'm trying to take the test in November, so it's like,
yeah.
We're gonna be taking a break from the recording. On the episodes will still be coming out. By the time this comes out, guys, this will be the last episode before we have like break before release, because we've been releasing monthly. So I make sure that when this comes out, there may or may not be a break. Or Lewis, we got news of him passing his architecture exam.
finger crossed.
He's been studying this for years.
And I'm like, is this worth it? This better be worth it. I need some more money.
Because you're gonna be focusing, so take a break. And if there's more time though, before the time run out of content and stuff, then
Absolutely.
I might have some of my brothers jump in some episodes with me.
Oh, please do, because that would be so fun to me. That'd
They've
be
been
cool.
already asking to jump in already.
Part of the goal of this, well, for me, was to, like, I love different opinions on anime stuff, and so having them give their opinion, oh yeah, that'd be great. That'd be cool.
Do our outro.
Okay.
TWMA. GB.
See, I always forget that part. Okay. Yeah.
See you when we see you guys.
Let's try that again.
Are you gonna try again? Or yeah, we'll do it again. All right, so you say the GB part, I say TWMA.
Okay.
All right, TWMA.
GB.